Tyler Kirkham spent $50,000 recreating the world of the Elder Scrolls games in his basement.
What would your ideal gaming setup look like if we wrote you a check for $20,000? Would you build a multiplayer room with a dozen screens for your friends to come and join you? Because someone definitely did that. Gaming has evolved quite a bit in the last little while. Not only do we have bleeding-edge graphics and incredibly fast peripherals, but we also put a huge emphasis on the setup, which is arguably a lot more important than the rig itself. But what if we expand our horizons and think about a multiplayer setup? After all, games are enjoyed more with friends, whether that's online or offline. The ideal multiplayer room is big enough for at least 3 comfortable stations, provides ample comfort, and has a good supply of snacks. You'll need to consider cooling, as PCs or consoles will generate heat. But why stop there? We're talking about the most expensive gaming setups ever, so why not have a lounge equipped with a fully stocked bar complete with snacks and energy drinks? Imagine having 12 stations to set up Overwatch or League competitions with your friends while onlookers watch from the bar waiting for their turn. Now, if you're like us, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, that sounds great and all, but where am I going to find so many friends? Remember, this is our dream setup, so just roll with it. Skyrim Gaming Basement. There are man caves, and then there's this absolutely insane $50,000 Skyrim-themed basement. This room pays homage to Skyrim in the best way possible. Let's break it down. The owner of this pretty sweet house is Tyler Kirkham, a 32-year-old artist who seems to be doing pretty well for himself. He and his dad, who's a building contractor, built this room together. It took them over 2 years and $50,000 to bring it to fruition. They made sure to go all out with the materials and the accuracy. The entrance is marked by a fast travel waypoint to indicate that you've arrived. In order to actually play the game, Kirkham installed a $20,000 home theater system with a massive projector. Around the room, you'll find suits of armor on training dummies, a weapon rack featuring medieval weapons, and authentic drinking horns from Germany. The bathroom alone is worth $15,000 and features a waterfall, a full shower, and it also has an ivory-covered rock face. He's even got a secret passageway hidden behind a bookshelf. That's everybody's dream, right? For that alone, we think this room is well worth the $50,000 price tag. Dude Perfect HQ Gaming Room. If you don't know, Dude Perfect is a massively popular YouTube channel where 5 best friends do insane trick shots. As they've grown, they've expanded, and in July of 2019, they broke into the realm of gaming by showing off their over-the-top gaming setup. They call it the Dude Perfect Vault, and it features a keypad-locked automatic sliding door, which doesn't appear to make any cool Star Trek noises, but nevertheless is still pretty sweet. Once you're through the secure door and inside the vault, you're greeted with RGB everything, as the floor is literally just a bunch of RGB panels. Once you take your eyes off the floor, you'll see a whopping 130-inch projector flanked by 65-inch LCD panels, every console you'd want to play, and 2 custom NZXT rigs, both with 49-inch ultra-wide curved monitors. And if that isn't enough, you've got 5 of what they claim are the comfiest chairs known to man, and the ultimate snack wall for you to pick and choose from your favorite treats to snack on while you game. Red Bull Gaming Sphere. The Red Bull Gaming Sphere makes the dreams of our multiplayer gaming room from earlier in the video a reality. The Sphere has stations for every type of gamer. In the racing zone, you'll find 2 different setups. One for the traditional racer who prefers the triple surround screen setup, and one that features a VR setup for those who want to be more immersed. Flanking the racing station are 2 displays for leaderboards for any visitor who thinks they've got what it takes. Moving on to the console area, you have 2 displays side by side playing whichever console your heart desires, with more head-to-head stations set up around the Sphere for the classic fighting game arcade feel. Let's move on to the PC section, which is by far the biggest. You've got 2 6-player stations on both the left and right side for the red team and the blue team. The Sphere didn't forget about spectators either, as there are plenty of benches to watch and cheer from. Down the middle, separating the 2 sides, are more spec'd-out rigs if you want more of the LAN center vibe. The station has high-end gaming chairs and peripherals. And really, the whole place looks like a dream come true. Cruden Hexatech Racing Simulator. If you've ever been to the arcades, you've probably gotten behind the wheel of a racing sim. Maybe you didn't play in manual mode and use the clutch, but racing games are best enjoyed when behind a wheel. The Cruden Hexatech Racing Simulator takes the notion of a racing simulator and supercharges it. This 6-axis simulator seats 3 people in custom Sparco seats. The whole machine provides force feedback from the steering wheel to the pedals, and even the seatbelt automatically tightens as you take a sharp corner. The rig has giant front-mounted displays to give you a complete 180-degree field of view, and built-in surround sound speakers. A setup like this is not for your average gamer. It's not even for the hardcore fans that are willing to spend $50K in a Skyrim-themed basement. The Cruden 6-axis simulator will set you back over $190,000. This seems more like an amazing engineering feat than anything else. But if you or someone you know has one of these things, please let us know so we can try it. Ninja's Streaming Room. Ninja's gaming/streaming setup is one to behold. It was made exclusively for the world-renowned streamer by none other than Red Bull. Hey, we just talked about them earlier. Anyways, the room's main focus is to accomplish one of Ninja's dreams since he started streaming back in 2012. Back then, he was using mostly budget gear and always had poor mic quality, lighting, and camera setups. Red Bull stepped in to ensure that Ninja never had to worry about quality ever again. The dojo contains 3 Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro cameras, which go for $7,500 each, and LED broadcast lighting. The Rode microphone is flanked by soundproofing, and audio out is mixed through an Atom TV Studio Pro. Powering it all are 2 custom NZXT rigs, and powering Ninja is a Red Bull mini fridge. A gaming setup, especially one for a streamer, isn't complete without the custom Ninja embroidered gaming chair and a hefty dose of RGB lighting. The lighting in the dojo is controlled by Ninja via his Stream Deck. To top it all off, the room has a full bar for Ninja after dark and an analyst table with plenty of displays to show off content for reviews or news. As far as personal setups go, this one might take the cake. Unbox Therapy's gaming setup. Lou from Unbox Therapy is no stranger to insane tech. In his quest to have the most expensive and impressive gaming setup, he turned to Imperator Works, a Las Vegas-based ergonomics company, to build the heart of his setup, the chair. The whole thing is sort of a cross between a racing sim and an RGB gaming room. The seat is a top-of-the-OG line recliner, which means you feel weightless sitting in it. It's customizable with electronic controls, a built-in massager, and it even sports a unique scorpion tail that has 3 4K monitors hanging off the end. The tail is fully RGB'd, as you'd expect from any setup on this list. On the back of the chair is a custom Zydax PC with top-of-the-line specs, and since the unit can handle multiple inputs, there's a PS4 for the console players. Coming around the side of the chair, you'll find a snack cart with your favorite chips and cookies, along with a mini fridge for your beer, iced teas, or Unbox Therapy Edition Coca-Cola. Mr. Who's the Boss gaming setup. Another popular YouTuber updated their setup to go from a fairly modern and good-looking setup to a no-compromise $20,000 monster. Mr. Who's the Boss posted a video of their setup update in November of 2017. And even though it's over 2 years old, it still holds up until this day. Let's take a look. Firstly, we'll start with the original setup, which had 2 PCs, 2 displays, and a decent amount of RGB. He mentions some weak points of the original room, which include an incredibly uncomfortable chair, a PC that's on its last legs, and a piece of cloth that acts as a curtain. The first upgrade is the PC, which is a custom-built unit made from YouTube channel PC Centric that features water cooling, a GTX 1070, and an AMD Ryzen 1800X. After that, Mr. Who's the Boss added new blackout blinds and a matching 49-inch panel for the second PlayStation setup. The sound got upgraded in both input and output, switching from a Rode to a Sennheiser MKH416 and changing his speakers as well. The desk, which is the same, is definitely worth mentioning. It's a custom-made desk that features small slits that not only route and manage cables, but also offer awesome RGB lighting. The transformation takes Mr. Who's the Boss from successful YouTuber to successful YouTuber with a baller setup. Erasable Ninja's gaming setup. Like Ninja, Erasable Ninja has a pretty serious gaming setup. This one, though not sponsored by Red Bull, still clocks in at over $11,000. The PC, which is the main attraction, sponsored and built by Zydax, features a liquid-cooled Intel i7-8700 CPU, 32 gigs of G-Skill RAM, an Asus GTX 1080 Ti, and a 500GB SSD. The whole unit is color-coded, custom cable managed, and of course features a healthy dose of RGB. The PC outputs to 3 23.8-inch 1080p Acer monitors to allow Erased Ninja to multitask while gaming or recording. The peripherals of choice are the Corsair Strafe keyboard and Corsair Glaive mouse, both RGB of course. The mouse, keyboard, and 7 of the internal fans inside of the PC case are all synced to really give the setup a cohesive feel. For sound, Audio-Technica is the choice for Erasable Ninja. His headphones are the M50X Studios, hooked into a small USB amp, and the mic is a 2020 USB+. The external sound system is a 2.1-channel system with 2 small speakers and a bigger subwoofer, which he claims to have found for $40 on Amazon. Random Frank P's gaming setup. And last but not least, we have Random Frank P, who just updated his setup for 2020. Frank's layout is mostly the same, but the hardware has changed quite a bit. The design language is quite different from what we've seen, with less RGB and a more bright, clean, and modern look. The PC is powered by a liquid-cooled Intel i9-9900KS, 64 gigs of Corsair RGB Pro RAM, and lastly, an Asus RTX 2080 Ti graphics card. This machine is as bleeding edge as it gets. All that power is housed in a custom Fantex Evolve X complete with Frank P logos. Even the motherboard is plasti-dipped in white to complete the Stormtrooper look. Triple monitor setup is the way to go apparently, with 2 ultra-wide LG monitors and a Samsung display for the overhead display. Frank went with a Corsair K95 keyboard and a Razer Viper Ultimate mouse, sliding on a Mad Catz Glide 38 mousepad. For audio, the Grace Design M9 amp and DAC powers the open-back Sennheiser 58X Jubilee headphones and Kanto YU5 speakers. With a system like this, you're going to want to be sitting at your desk a whole lot of the time, so ergonomics are extremely important. Frank chooses the Herman Miller Embody chair for comfort and design. Now that you've seen what's possible with $10,000, $15,000, or $50,000, what kind of gaming setup would you choose? Considering an unlimited budget. For us, we definitely go with a little bit of everything, but one thing's for sure, a bar is non-negotiable.